Holds, steps up, Huntley, sacks, T.J. Watt! NFL history! Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record. Oh, no!
In the air to right. This is deep, and he did it again! Jack Sawinski wins it for the Pirates! 3 home runs in a game!
I can't believe he's not here.
Welcome to another live Pittsburgh Sportsline in the studio. We're having a few technical difficulties because you know we do a live show every week. Go to our Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on YouTube. We're live streaming there. We're live streaming on Facebook, Pittsburgh Sportsline. And if you're watching us on Comcast 21, we salute you. And thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the surrounding areas in greater Pittsburgh. So we appreciate you there. We have a great show. Right now, Nick's handling something that, I don't know, it was technical before. He got to adjust it again. Smoking Jim's a man of mystery. He sent me a text message about 15 minutes ago telling me to look out for something, and I'm still looking for him. He's not in the studio yet. He may be out there. And I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. We got Guns here, Jim Ellenbogen, and Nick Callis, VIP, or Harry, whoever you call and watch, from the Fan to BPTV. And I want to thank all of you again for watching us. Thanks for all the likes on Facebook. And, we're going to talk about this show. And then let's see what we got. Nobody's telling me anything else, so we'll just go with some promos. I don't know, can Rowan run our promos early? Can we give a yes or no from Rowan? Yep. You can plug them in. So we're going to do our promos. Nick has made that up. Everybody likes how all the promos that I post up every week are all on video, and I only have one that I'll test Big Mike on when we get the time after the promos are up. Just tell us when those promos are up or I won't shut up. So Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com.
And now this message from BPTV.
Alas, poor talking machine. I knew him well. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy?
Dave, I'm not dead. I'm still doing Pittsburgh Sportsline every Tuesday night and many other weekly shows on BPTV.
That's great, Al, but then who's this?
I don't know, but we must leave right now. Let's go.
South Park Theater is hosting its Party in the Park fundraiser on Saturday, April 29th from 4 o'clock until 7. There will be live music, beer, wine, hors d'oeuvres, and a slate of events scheduled for the kids. General admission is $40, 4 to 12-year-olds get in for $5, and children under 3 are free. Tickets are available at EV True Value Hardware, the Bethel Park Library, South Park Theater, or you can go online to bpcf.org. If you want more information, go online or call 412-760-9614.
Help save Pittsburgh police officer Jeffrey Crawford. Jeffrey is in need of a kidney donation. He's in stage 5 renal failure and he's on dialysis 3 times a week. He needs this kidney ASAP. To contact the UPMC donor registry, call 412-647-4438 or go to livingdonorreg.upmc.com. And to help spread awareness, use the hashtag #BlessJeff on socials. Let's come together to support Pittsburgh policeman Jeffrey Crawford in his time of need. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org.
Look at myself on here. And
I don't have to say anything till it's up. We up? All right, I get to talk on this promo. Didn't Nick do a great job on all those promos? And shout out to Drew watching. Johnny Mariano told us you could hear Party in the Park. Last week, Drew, one of our biggest fans, my son, said he couldn't hear it. All right, Master Zhang has a school in Wexford and a school in Bridgeville. They're celebrating their 1-year anniversary at the end of May. We're going to do a show there in June. He's offering, let's see what we got here. Thanks, Mike, for that. Beginner special, 4 weeks plus uniform for only $30. And we got a special deal. They said $30 if you mention Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, Smokin' Jim Frazier, Nick VIP Callis, not Harry Callis from the fan, only VIP. You can get a discount. We don't know how much, but I'm thinking about 50% off.
All right.
And Grandmaster Zhang, as I tell Guns there, he didn't disagree. So one last little peek. Mike, show it to our fans there, and we'll move on. All right. We're going to go to What's on Your Mind, Smokin' Jim Frazier. Is your mic on?
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
Coming at you.
you got to see.
Oh, no. His hands
Alan
are
Robinson. Alan Robinson.
I was just gonna say that.
Another bubble screen. Hey.
Did you say bobbled screen? That was another bobble by Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to the State Hall of Fame committee, which I'm part of, and this weekend.
Is that the Western Pennsylvania?
Western Pennsylvania.
You got to pronounce it correctly, buddy,
Yeah,
even
well,
though you're a
I'm
trustee.
I'm part of the state too, but Western PA is having their banquet this weekend, and I tell you what, there's some headliners. Darnell Dickerson from the Fan, one of the all-time great athletes, is going there.
Darnell?
What's her name?
Doran?
Dorn Dickerson. Okay, all right, Dorn Dickerson. Darnell.
Who
would
named
be-
him?
Huh?
Who named him?
Well, not anybody black.
Disclaimer.
I'm just saying.
Nice.
Hold it.
You ever met a black guy named Dorian?
Yes.
Doran!
Doran.
Not Dorian.
that's
Disclaimer is Smokin' Jim is a black man. He does not represent us because of what he says. All his comments are just his own. They don't reflect BPTV or Bethel Park or the Talking Machine or anybody on Pittsburgh Sportsline. And he lives or dies by it. If you want to complain about him being racist, that's your problem. I don't know him as a racist.
Well, he was a great athlete. Him and Pelco, two of the greatest athletes.
What was
coming
his
out of
first
school.
name?
Tyler.
Disclaimer.
Good comeback.
But a guy I wanted to mention was a guy I played against in high school, was a tremendous player, man.
What year was
Underrated.
that?
Greg Meisner from Valley High School. Him and Benji Pryor were just bookend tight ends, bookend defensive ends, tough
But
guys.
were they good?
They were great. Both of them were All-Americans, but Benji Pryor was probably
You
the
can't
most
give me anything.
heralded guy on that team, and Greg Meisner had the better college and pro career. But I tell you what, man,
Who did he play for in the pros? Sorry to ask these hard questions.
The Rams, but that day when we played the Great Valley High School, Benji Pryor, after we scored a touchdown my sophomore year, Benji Pryor, who was 250-some pounds, was a kickoff returner. He returned the next kickoff for a touchdown, and then on a two-point conversion, we paralyzed the quarterback for life, and that was a hard thing to do, to play after you see a guy paralyzed, a great athlete for life. So shout out to Greg Meisner, who's bringing in like 100 people, sold 10 tables, so congratulations. Also, Lusaka Polite from Pitt and Woodland Hills is going to be there and play for the Dallas Cowboys. Will be there as well. So it's a star-studded. It's already sold out event. Next year they want us to do the red carpet if we could. We will be doing some other things this weekend.
I doubled my fee
There you go. There you go.
for us, just so you know.
There you go. And that's what's on my mind.
Thank you for your update, Smokin' Jim. We had some technical difficulties. Thanks to Ralph Williams for watching. Hello. Amy, thanks for watching. Hello. Paul Haley's watching from Facebook Live in South Carolina.
Which Haley?
Former Beth. This is Paul
Oh,
Haley,
Paul Haley, okay.
who's been a friend of mine. He was from Bethel Park. He knows that you're a little bit silly. And Dr. John Donatelli, lots to talk about. Have a good show, guys. Probably need a longer show. We might open it up for after the show for 15 minutes. It might be a first time ever. But that would be, can we do it on Facebook?
Yeah.
And we'll do it on YouTube then. We got permission. We'll do our first ever after the show edition.
Will you be wearing your Cleveland Browns shirt?
I don't own one.
Oh, it looked like it.
Smoking Jim.
Sure looks like
What's
it.
it say here? what brown shirt would say Pittsburgh Sportsline with black and gold? Anthony Bacco, retired local Teamster 211, supports his brothers and sisters at the PG. Stay strong, and like I said, don't buy the PG online or in paper with their scab papers. And Amy says, love your pirate shirts, Guns and Nick.
Thank you.
Go Buccos!
All right. Jim Ellenbogen, what's on your mind?
Well, I guess somebody got to do it. Give the last rites over the Pittsburgh Penguins. Penguin fans, I hate to bring this to you, but you'll never see the holy trinity of the Penguins win another cup. It's done. It's over. So with that, they were great. It wasn't their fault. It just wasn't meant to be, but that's the end of that. Steelers. Once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers, to fill in, have went to the dollar store. Allen Robinson's greatest years were with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 13, 14, 15. And this is typical what Khan's doing. It's like, when you go in that cabinet and you see a pack of crackers and you're starving and you're like, I wonder if these things are still good.
Yeah.
But this time he was smart enough that these crackers had icing on them because he went to Penn State. And one thing we know about our Penn State fans, if he had one arm and one leg, draft him. He's a Nittany Lion. So, but guess what? Al Levine, the talking machine.
What?
Tomlin was listening. Finally, how long have I been screaming? Did you ever hear of the defensive line?
Since last year.
And now, this week, they are looking at Jalen Carter from Georgia, defensive tackle.
Yeah.
And my favorite, Luke Van Ness from Iowa.
He's a big guy.
He is Carter, great ball player, but I personally think that Rooney's will pass on him because if you remember, he was the one driving that other car that wrecked and killed them guys
One
from
of his
Georgia.
teammates.
And although he's a great player, we know that the Steelers don't like the narrative of controversy taking it off that. But Luke Van Ness, my favorite in the draft, 6'5", 275.
You heard it here first.
40-yard dash.
Give it.
4.58. I was watching. I was you this weekend watching film on him. No need to go around. He was blowing guys right up the middle.
Wow.
Making tackles. He could be the answer to that defensive line. So.
Oh, John Donatelli, Hawkeyes. The uniform's the same as the Steelers.
And that even makes it better. He won't even have to. All you got to do is take that eye off and put that Steeler logo, and he's at home.
Slap it on.
That's what's on my mind.
Thank you very much. Anthony Bacco, Guns, they don't have to move up in the draft to get those guys.
Even better.
Will they then?
Will they move up?
Yeah.
If it don't cost them that much, they will. I mean, they got imagine Robinson, right?
Yeah.
They're taunting him as the third guy. The Rams are eating $10 million to say, go away.
We only got to pay him $5 million.
But $10 million to go away. Do you want a guy that for $10 million that they're getting?
He'd take him.
Well,
He's Smoking Jim.
he'd put him in the Hall of Fame.
All right, Smoking Jim's holding his hand up.
Go ahead,
this
Jim.
way.
I'm sorry.
Guns makes another great point.
Oh, you're here to pump.
Because-
The Jim side is
because
speaking.
The Steelers are not going to take a guy who has problems with his driving ability after Gabe Rivera.
I got to interrupt you.
Famer.
Good point.
Thank you.
He was drag racing his friends. He had no problem driving. He finished the race. They didn't.
I didn't know that.
That's why somebody
They both
died.
I didn't know
You
that.
should find out more information before you talk unintelligently about a subject.
The point is, though, is Mr. Rooney does not like subjects that take away from
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah, but don't we have a player's coach? He can pacify anybody.
Well,
Think about what he's done. Guys got shot in the butt. Guys are
let me
lifting
say
tons
this.
of weights.
Unless you have a number 7 on your back and you bring in millions of dollars with T-shirts, jackets, hats, and are a huge money maker, you can't stay here if you got problems.
That's right. That's right.
Great point from the gym table.
This is the
Except
table.
for smoking. He was a little bit off. Next time,
Sorry,
send me a text and I'll reply back what you should say because you didn't know any.
He needed nourishment.
No.
He needed nourishment.
You used to have fancy cars, and then you have like big engine cars you like spinning around and stuff.
I drove it like a brother.
Well,
I cruise, bro.
what do you think this young gentleman who's black was doing?
No, he was black. Gabe Rivera wasn't black.
You're not even listening to anything
Oh,
you've
you talking
talked
about the boy
about.
from Georgia?
Yes, I didn't change subjects like
Oh,
you.
okay.
Try to stay focused. Since we need to get back to focus, Guns has been on the show since around Thanksgiving of 2022. Now we're heading for May of 2022. He's been taking the place of Chip Hayner, who is still getting the 3 drips a day of antibiotics every 8 hours. He called me up, said he's feeling better. And he's still got to do it for, like another month and a half or so. So he won't be on the show till we'll find out when he's able to. He got his knee replacement was taken out. They put something called a spacer in it with antibiotics on it because he had a bad bone infection, I think, because there's no knee in there. You couldn't infect anything. Like, it's hard with Smoking Jim because he's had separate surgeries. But if you had a knee, then they could drain a knee. But they took his knee out and put in a metal knee. So you don't have a knee then, right? So if they had to take blood or things out of his leg,
The Bionic Man.
no, that would have been his bone from his thigh. So he had problems there in the lower bone. So he said he's feeling better, but he has to get these antibiotics 3 times every day. So your prayers are all appreciated, like Amy prayed, but I can't really update you because we won't know until he's done with the 40 days of getting the drips. And I know that takes time. We all want things instantly, and so does Chip. He's itching, and was talking a little bit about the Pirates. We'll talk about that a little later. They are a gritty team, I'll say that much. And are they surprising? Yes. And one of my favorite players is a guy hit a 3-run homer. They call him Bay. Smoking Jim, it's B-A-E. Bay is his name. So look that up so you can talk about him when you get rid of the Sox app. All right. All right, Margaret Rohde said hello to Marco and Mike and Diane and everybody. Great show. Margaret, thank you for watching and being a good grandmother. We appreciate you checking in. And Amy, Chip won't be coming back soon. I just wanted to clarify that he is going to be off for a month or 2. All right, let's go to What's on Your Mind, Nick VIP Callis.
All right, well, one of you noticed at least I'm wearing a pirate shirt, so there you go. And I wanted to bring in.
I didn't notice. All I saw was a shoulder.
I wanted to bring in something else as well. So I got this shirt. Went to the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7 against the Ottawa Senators, and they were giving out the yellow out shirts that you could wear or twist around. Very, very sad to be holding this now, because you know what, guys? It's over. And you didn't get the last word there, Guns. I gotta take it because
Baby pony.
I watched or wore this shirt for years. The last time they won the Stanley Cup, I was a senior in high school. Now I'm about a year and a half removed, or almost 2 years removed now from Waynesburg University. So goodbye, Penguins. It's time for baseball.
Hey,
What's
can
up?
I have that? I like my T-shirts
No,
at
I'm
home.
throwing it away.
Let me get it. Let me get
baseball season. The Pirates are doing well. I've heard
Big pony.
comments saying nobody could have seen McCutcheon doing well, and nobody could have seen Santana doing good things, and Rich Hill's been kind of a disappointment. I'll give you that one.
Hold it, I predicted
But
that.
man, I've been optimistic about the Pirates for a long time, ever since they were signing Santana and Hill, bringing McCutcheon back. Like, hey, you know what? This could be a good team. I'm being, what's it? Cautiously optimistic is the term that I used. But you know what? Hold on.
Delusional.
I am cautiously optimistic about this team, and you know what? Right now they're doing well. Now, I usually start to judge how good a team is after 40 games. So we're not going to go that far yet, but I'm telling you what, right now, McCutcheon's playing on fire. Reynolds wants a new contract, and he's playing like it. And here it is. Be excited about baseball. Pittsburgh's starting to come back. I'm noticing. So goodbye to the Penguins of the past. They haven't done anything in recent years. Really, neither of the Pirates, but they're on the uptrend now. Okay? If we've done polls of who are you more excited to see at the Fan. We've done polls. Whose future are you more excited to see? And the Pirates are above the Penguins. It's unbelievable. The Pirates have a better outlook. The Steelers, look what the Steelers are doing. I know you don't like the Allen Robinson potential trade, but again,
how'd you understand
$5 million. That's cheap. Okay, another wide receiver to add to the bunch, right? They're doing well now. They're making amends. They're getting stronger. The Penguins right now, goodbye. It was an awful ending. It was terrible. And the fact that they got eliminated the day before as well, before that Wednesday, because they lost to the Blackhawks, it's tough. So tough. I'm actually really sad about what the Penguins have done, but this needed to happen. I'm totally fine with it. And to heck with the Penguins. Let's go Pirates. Let's go Bucks. Baseball season's here. Enjoy it. That's what's on my mind.
Nick, that was great. Paul Haley, tell Nick to calm down. He's too excited about the Bucks this early. I've tried to, Paul, but he's delusional.
Baseball's my favorite sport, if you haven't heard.
Amy, calm down, Nick. You getting too excited. Anthony Bacca, hey, Nick, hello. Too early to think the Pirates are going anywhere. Been there too many years. Anthony's one of us old school guys like Guns and myself. We've seen this before with older players come in for $5 million. I've always wished Kutch would do well. He looks in great shape. And I've been told by an inside source that this may not be his last appearance.
All right.
Who'd you hear that from?
I don't know. I can't reveal my sources.
Nice.
These sources, if I gave them up, then you'd know where I got them from.
Oh, I know where you got that from.
So then I can't.
I'm a fan.
No.
Son of a gun, I'm going to shut up and say what's on my mind. Everybody remember when a player died from Buffalo on the field? Hamlin? Well, it is something where he did die on the field, so it's something outrageous. Thanks to the medical personnel that saved his life, the doctors, everybody else, the EMT that got him there at the right time, everybody that helped him to live, and now he just got approved from his doctor, nice shotguns, to play football again. He's been checked out by many doctors. Unlike, I'm not talking about the surgery he had because it's a mystery, but he got cleared by a doctor who we don't know he is. We only know he's a white doctor because Smoking Jim won't go to anybody but white doctors. And I'm not racist, even though I'm a white guy talking about a black man.
Disclaimer.
And Hamlin went to numerous doctors, and they all approved him to play again. You talk about miracles. If you don't believe in miracles, that's a miracle to go from we were so sad that he died on the field. And look, he's coming back to play football. I sort of think of Shazier when he wanted to come back, and they told him if he took one bad hit, he would die. Well, here's a guy that did die, and they approved him to come back. So thank God I'm living proof of technology with the medical field, a transplant. My son Drew, shout out, gave me a kidney, and I'm still alive to talk about it. To me, I think this is one of the greatest things in sports to happen, that Hamlin can play officially again. So we're going to go to Smoking Jim with some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac in 10 seconds.
Levine, the talking machine, and I tell you what, we got the Twin Towers in there on the ones and twos. My man Ro and Marco doing a great job, man. Proud of those guys, man. But hey, Levine, the talking machine, I was just thinking about something. Fiction and Fact
we
from
have
Smoking
trouble.
Jim's Almanac. I couldn't find the article, but this week some people might have seen the top 10 greatest high school football players of all time. Number 1 was Herschel Walker. I can't argue against that. But number 3 was a friend of mine, Terrell Pryor. And I tell you what, I was surprised to see him that he made the top 10 all-time high school
Where did he
football
play at?
players. He played at Jeanette High School. But the thing about it is this guy was so great in football and basketball and whatnot. Al Levine, the talking machine. He was just a phenom. He was like 6'6". He could do it all. Quarterback. I seen a game. Al Levine, the talking machine. Now his head coach was a guy I played at college with, Roy Hall. He was a twin.
How
Former
many
state
people do
wrestling
you
team.
know besides women?
We was like
4.
we was like we would.
Oh, did that slip out? I was thinking that.
I tell
Sorry,
you what,
folks.
man. I
Sorry,
tell you,
folks. I
we used to bring
apologize.
100. We was the only football team that would bring 110 to camp every year. It was unbelievable, man. We looked like convicts out there. But Al Levine, the
Speak
talking
for
machine.
yourself.
Al Levine, the talking machine. I seen a game where they was winning basically by 70 points at halftime. Terrell Pryor hurdled a guy that didn't even, just leaped over him like Superman. I left after halftime because Pryor and them left in their car at halftime. I used to see Pryor all the time because he was a dedicated athlete. He would go over to Roy Hall, the coach Roy Hall, who was a twin. He had a full weight room in his garage. It was open 24/7 for the players. The players go in and work out. Terrell Pryor was always working out. And don't forget, he was 10 times a better basketball player than he was a football player. I brought the pictures in plenty of times. WPIL championship game against the number 1 team in the state, Beaver Falls. Terrell Pryor scores 39 points, has 12 blocks. He has 8 dunks. Towards the end of the game, he sees me sitting at courtside. Terrell Pryor jumps up, and 2 rows behind me is Arm in the Hammer Gilliam. He jumps up, and he's almost going to fall, so they show me in the paper holding his leg. He points at the Beaver Falls fans and says, F Beaver Falls, and then jumps down as they went on to win the state championship. After the game, they won the state championship, he refused to play in the round ball game, even though he could have played in the NBA. He refused to play in a round ball game because he just wanted to be a football player. But he told me he was going to run track and win a couple more state titles in the 100 and 200. He hadn't run track since 9th grade. And this is when I cut off communication, because once you get arrogant and cocky, Al Levine, the talking machine, that's it. I went out to Terrell Pryor. I don't think it was the NAACP, but it was something like that wanted to award him. So I went out and told
Some
him.
black organization?
Something like that. And they wanted to award him, right?
We'll research this for a disclaimer.
But I can't remember which one. I don't know if it's Urban League, HUD, but Al Levine, the talking machine. They wanted to award him, so I go out to his house and I tell him, and that's when he started getting big time with me and everybody else. He said, if they send me a limousine, I'll go. I said, I'm done with you. And after that, if you remember, several people, even the Dapper Dan, reached out to honor him, but he said, send me a limousine. And I tell you what, he went from being a great athlete and a great person to being somebody that his head just got so big. And I tell you what, he could have been a superstar. He still holds a record in the NFL that'll never be broken against the Steelers. Only quarterback to run a 93-yard touchdown. Longest touchdown by a quarterback in NFL history. And it's too bad. That arrogance hurt him because he was a great wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns, but he held out for more and more money and never produced anywhere else. So shout out to Terrell Pryor, still making noise. As one of the all-time great quarterbacks.
You haven't watched Smoking Jim.
Does Anthony know which one?
No, wait.
Which black organization it was?
No, Paul Haley said Pryor played offense and defense at Jeanette, great athlete.
Yeah.
Anthony Bacco, you haven't watched Smoking Jim a while. We do his Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. He brings out a guy, a person, a team, or somebody he knew, and he talks about him. The point of it was, who? Tell him your point.
He was one of the top 10 greatest high school football players of all time. according to a national magazine.
Now you know, Anthony, how we deal with Smoking Jim. And we'll have to find out the black organization because somehow Smoking Jim doesn't know about black organizations. And my
I get my letters wrong. I get them all mixed up.
well, what letters do you have on your hat? And you say you're a Pirate fan. It's SOX. All right, we got to move on to the next segment. It's guns. Stick to your guns time.
Is it?
Hold on, there you are. Let them see the visual. We're trained by the visual here. You know he's a fill-in. He's not a permanent guest. He's a fill-in. He's learning.
I've been filling in for
since Thanksgiving.
Yeah, since the Israelis took the Gaza Strip.
67.
They were only visiting too.
67. Great point. I'm a history guy like you.
Not enough corners on that list.
Anthony understands. Smoking Jim. Before I go, your friend Anthony Bacco said, okay, I understand about Smoking Jim. Anthony, you're one of the few, so welcome aboard.
You know, Tyrell Pryor is another example of, like, when you're in the public eye like that,
Yes, sir.
and whether it's just athletics, politics, whatever, people remember you by your lesser deed. Now, people will remember him as getting stabbed or whatever by some girl in the north side.
Yes, sir.
And that totally underscores his athletic ability. And it's a shame that guys like him, you know, for whatever reason, you know what I mean, it ruins them.
It's sad.
But I have probably been the biggest Pirate critic on the panel for since I'm visiting. Where I don't think my kids were even born when I first came here, but now they're grown. Here I am. I have a Pirate shirt on today.
Why?
You know
It's top of the
something?
drawer.
Because for the first time since 2013, I'm driving home on Saturday. I'm listening to a Pirate game.
On the fan.
Yes! I was hoping to catch Nick. And
Harry Callis was producing it.
then the thing about it is, I actually was having fun listening to the Pirates. Kutch came up, blasted one into the stands, took the lead, and I thought, you know what? We didn't think this was going to be a great team this year, but they're entertaining and they're fun, and I don't think they know they're not supposed to win. So I have to say, I'm more than pleased at what's going on here. Are they going to continue it through the year? They say no. My biggest caveat is this. I like the energy of this team. I like the fact that Kutch, who was supposed to come here for a year, is hitting home runs, and other guys are filling in for Cruz, and they're winning games. Last night, 13 to
14 to 3.
I mean, I love that. So
I watched the first 8 runs, then I had enough.
right, but what I'm saying is, for the first time in years, they're exciting. But the black flag to me in this thing
Yeah.
is I could just see nutting in the background going, how do I make money off of this team by destroying it? So I will say one thing. I like the energy. I'm having fun with the Pirates for the first time in years. And I have to agree with Nick. I'm liking this. So that's what's on my mind.
Wow, Nick got another convert there. Way to go. Well, I'll just share this. My son Drew and I, we watched Kutch hit that home run, started the game. What a great thing that was. People, are just enjoying that. My new player is Bay, B-A-E. When he hit that 3-run homer to win the game the other night, we watched that, Nick. So I've turned in to watch more baseball games this year than I did all of last year already.
I can't watch without Cruz.
He doesn't even watch when he is with Cruz. So. No. All right, we're going to go to VIP time. 10 seconds.
All right, not quite done with the Penguins yet, but this is going to be a little more reeled in and a little less baseball. So, good move. Penguins fired big names in the front office, including Ron Hextall. Did he intentionally sabotage the Penguins because he hated them during his playing career? Maybe. I'm not going to insinuate anything, though. I don't know. But here's what we kind of got to see from a Penguins team for me to feel a little bit better about them going into next season. I mean, we want to hold on so much to, names and players and memories and all of this goodness that we felt. But just like that shirt, the team's now on the floor. How do we get them back up, right?
You want me to get it?
No, leave it on the floor. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
I'm taking it home. I'm very literal.
It's metaphoric.
Smoking Jim, what's metaphor mean?
It comes after.
I didn't want to put you on the spot. Most of you out there know what I mean. It's symbolic. It's like, all right, how do we get this team up and going again? And I think the first step in all of this is to let go of all the memories and to let go of all the players that you thought you liked who are now old. Are we saying gut it? Because that's kind of what I'm saying, too.
Yeah.
I think I talked about this before when the Penguins signed back Letang and Malkin. It was kind of like, you enjoy the players and you enjoy the memories and you enjoy the talent. It's like a movie. It's like a TV show where, sometimes sad endings happen and sometimes the sad moments are what makes the movies good and what makes, characters grow or people grow. With the Penguins, it was like, well, could we have stood to see Malkin or Letang in other places? Maybe, but it was exciting to get them back. But then when you think about, the show or the growth of the Penguins, there is no growth because they invest in the big players and then they don't play the younger players. They play Jari way too much. You find out he's made of glass, and they keep playing him, and they realize there's no goaltending on top of no defense, and all you have is one good defender, one good wing, and one good center, and the other lines struggle. You realize that there's not an investment made in the team. You realize that there's no growth that's going to happen because it's spend and spend and spend, and then you spend too much. I talk about this with the Pirates, too, in any case. You shouldn't spend too much. Major League Baseball teams in the past that have spent too much have done poorly. Now that the Penguins have spent an incredible amount, they got to deal with the salary cap. But you get what I mean. Take away the memories, take away all that has happened in the past, and we got to start fresh. These 16 seasons of making playoffs in a row is over. There will be no Stanley Cup this year. There won't even be a playoff run this year. There won't be even a first-round exit. I remember saying before, too, lower your expectations. They might lose in the first round, and don't worry about it, right? Well, guess what? They're not even there. So that's just a reality check here. It's the representative of the Fenway Sports Group has dismissed Hextall and Pryor and Burke, and now they're all gone. So it's now it's time for us. We weren't really attached to them, and we're not even really attached to the Fenway Sports Group, but the players that we may be attached to, it's time to start maneuvering and considering.
Well, there's only 3 of them we're attached to.
Well, I know, but they're really big names because they were
played
part
well.
of.
They played well.
That's why they're important. I guess what I'm trying to say here too is don't expect them to be on the roster. Don't clamor for them to be on the roster. It's time to embrace a struggling season. I talk about this with the Steelers all the time too. We should embrace the potential for the team to struggle. Although then they came back last year and they made it to 9-8, right? Didn't really help anything though.
Well, on that point, one point you're missing, like the Steelers talk about mediocrity, 16 seasons in a row where we haven't had a losing season. How about the Penguins? The longest winning streak of playoff wins, 16 years in a row in North America, and that streak ended. I'm disappointed about that because they practiced what they preached. The Steelers only want to be mediocre. They wanted to win cups.
Penguins actually making
and they won cups in 16 and 17, and they didn't make changes like they should have then, so you pay the price now. Look at the changes they put in. I just wanted to add in, Anthony Bacco said, "You got it, Nick. You don't play in the past, so move on to the future." Good analysis.
Thank you.
Now, Paul Haley's on your side, too. I don't know what Nick's doing. He's like a new preacher here. It was kind of a good thing that the Pens didn't make the playoffs.
It's not kind of a good thing. It was a very good thing that they make the playoffs.
That's his opinion, too, he respected yours. and didn't make the playoffs with this mediocre team to clean house and start anew, keeping maybe a handful of players. But Paul Haley, again, Fenway Sports Group is trying to get Lemieux more involved in the day-to-day and player picks. Great analogy. I've heard that.
Yeah, but I'm saying if there's no more Crosby or no more Malkin or no more Letang, you can be okay with that at this point. It's a time for the rebuild to come full circle. Let's establish some new players. Let's figure out the goaltending situation. They're not going to do well without a goalie, and they don't have one right now. There's not really one on the market. And do you want to trust Jari for another season legitimately? I wouldn't.
I'll make that answer. No. Guns, what do you want to say?
2 points. One, best thing ever happened to the Penguins is they didn't make the playoffs because,
Like Paul said, you're right on.
it's like
You
my
did
grandmother
say-
used to say, people get used to anything, even hanging if you hang there long enough.
Whoa!
People are used to just, okay, they made the playoffs, but now they're forced to do something new, something real, like you were saying. Big thing as far as Lemieux, and it's like a big secret, but there's obviously conflict between this Fenway group and with Lemieux, because Lemieux seems to just be retreating away. And because he's Mario Lemieux, the Pittsburgh media is all encircled him and say, oh, that's Mario. And Mario's the great, I admit.
He saved it.
But Mario could freaking, if he took a machine gun, God forbid, and did something with it, everybody, the Pittsburgh media would be like, oh, well, it's Mario. I'm sure he was just shooting birds or something, and they got in the way. The point is, say it like it is. He's ticked, they're ticked, and there's friction there. So it is what it is.
The only thing you can ever say about Mario, he's not Gretzky. That's the only thing you can say. I mean, other than that.
That's it. Of everything that I said.
Disclaimer. I'm calling it a disclaimer because we all know he likes Gretzky's daughter. He ain't kidding.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Of all the things that I said, that's what you.
If you haven't watched the show much, Smoking Jim's one of the nicest guys in media. But when it
Mario.
comes to Pittsburgh sports, he's one of the most negative guys because he never really watched hockey. He
love
never
Gretzky.
watched baseball until he got on our show 12 years ago. So you have to put it with a big grain of salt, like about a softball-sized grain of salt. But that's how that goes. And what we're forgetting, like, when have the Steelers won a Super Bowl? Too long ago. How about the Penguins won one 6 years ago?
Yes, sir.
And they won 2 back-to-back, which is rare. So even a young puppy like Nick, you almost got to see all 5 cups.
Like the Pirates, I haven't seen a World Series yet.
Right, so I'm just
Same
trying to
attitude.
compare for you being upset with the Penguins.
Well, no, I'm not like.
Al, read what Haley said.
Okay, what Haley said. Whoa, Paul Haley likes guns. He said he predicted this months ago that the Pens wouldn't make it.
They said I was crazy, but I was right.
And poor Steve, we got to hang Steve out, who filled in for a few times. He was all about the Pens making it. You've come and gone with it. Now you're being realistic, so I appreciate your analysis.
I was just like,
You heard it from the gunner first. They were gone months ago.
He got it. Those guns are getting bigger now on his head, too. His head's twice the size. Way to go, Paul.
When we talk about me being upset with the Penguins, it's not that I don't have gratitude for the Stanley Cup.
Well, I just wanted to bring it up.
No,
I'm
you're
getting lost with
it's
all
not.
this.
Well, it's not that I'm not grateful for that time and the fact that I've been alive during championships for Pittsburgh teams in the NHL
Especially
and
Penguins.
the NFL. Then that's awesome. But when you have a bunch of first round exits over and over and over again, change might be necessary, and they weren't doing that. And I was even excited when I heard that Malkin and Letang were coming back and they were all going to be together. But then you just see what they didn't invest in after just bringing back hey, here's names that we recognize. I didn't like that part. And it reflected in this season. It was just like they didn't even want to make the playoffs, it felt like. And that's not great.
Well, thank you, VIP. I appreciate it. We're going to go on location and shout out to Diane Rohde watching us. She's keeping an eye on Mike. We're up. Okay, on location. We've been waiting for this. April 22nd, Monsville, West Virginia, the haunted prison. we just got confirmation from the matchmaker, Mike Murray there. He told us we'll see you there about 4:30, 5 o'clock to set up, and starts at 6:30. So Smoking Jim knows where to meet us, and Nick's going to drive the company car down there. So he's saving us gas money. We appreciate it. Great night of fights there. Smoking Jim and I are going to ring announce, and we're also going to announce and do the play-by-play for the night. So it'll be a dual duty. Wait till you see Smoking Jim go up in that ring. He's like a cat-like figure up there. So we always have fun there. Thanks to Jim Frio, who sponsors us there and hires us each time to do any time they have fights. Our buddy Mike Manis coming back for another fight against Lucas. It's a rematch. Smoking Jim loves the rematch, so wait till you hear what he has to say. And both these guys are tough fighters, so it'll be a great night of fights. We have plenty of fans down there in West Virginia. You can see us on Pittsburgh Sportsline channel streaming, and on Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook streaming to you from the beginning of the fights at 6:30 till they're over. If the Wi-Fi's a little sketchy, I'll apologize in advance, but the last time we had some good reception there. So we're assuming with our skills and our technology and the computer we're using, we should be good to go. So I just wanted to give you that heads up. We even got asked to do another Taekwondo potential grand opening. So we're looking into that. We'll reveal that a little later next week when I talk to the lady who's a Master Cipriani. And it's a friend of Smoking Jim and I, and we'll find out more from her. All right, we got about 7 minutes or less to open up a few things. And I wanted to bring up, you guys have any thoughts on the NBA?
Did somebody get stomped recently in the NBA?
I don't know. The Warriors, I always like the Warriors. You know, I'm a front-runner guy.
Trayvon Green got thrown out of the game for stomping on somebody, right?
Yeah, well, as I said, Mr. Negative here.
I was just wondering.
Now, why is he laughing when I call him Mr. Negative? Now, he could have said how a team won. Instead, he says a team got stomped. Everybody that watches ESPN, which all of us do except for Nick, because he's only allowed to watch and listen to the fans.
That's not true. That's not.
Well, no, you guys are segregated in your own little league.
Segregated.
You're in your own little league. This is our media. We're open to any media outlet. We don't care who you are or what you are. We're not competing with you. All right, we're trying to entertain you. And I like the Warriors, but they can't win on the road, and they're having problems. And everybody knows about Draymond Green. Years ago, you could give a guy a clothesline in the NBA. You could punch guys, and there wouldn't even be a penalty. Now, with him getting so many technicals and getting thrown out of the game, he stomped on a guy's chest, but Smoking Jim forgot to tell you, the guy grabbed his leg from the floor. What would you do when, oh, we can't even mention, he can hardly walk. When he walked into the studio, I had to have 2 of our young volunteers carry him to the desk. And this is every week. So the stomping happened. He may get suspended, but a lot of people on ESPN said, what about the instigator? Should he get suspended? Now, I'm not even asking Smoking Jim because he's prejudiced. What do you guys think?
Well, when it comes to the NBA, I mean, they take more steps than my neighbor that walks around the park every day.
Sir, that's true.
True. You know.
Hold on, I got an announcement. Nick Rohde, a big hello from Nick Rohde, Mike's dad and Marco's granddad from Rochester, New York.
All right.
We salute you, Nick. Thank you for watching and making a comment. Sorry to interrupt you, Guns.
The only thing I'll say about the NBA right now is we miss the passing of the great Willis Reed.
Yeah.
You know, the great New York Nick that was fantastic. Nick, you weren't born yet, but the old Laker-Nick rivalries were tremendous. Jerry West, you know.
Grambling graduate.
Yeah, that New York Knicks team that he led, Walt
What
Frazier,
kind of school are they, Smoking Jim?
Gary Russell,
Yeah.
Dave DeBusschere.
Dave DeBusschere was a heck of a guy.
You know, that was a great
You
team.
mentioned Walt Frazier?
That was my next one against Jerry West, Keith Erickson, the great Elgin Baylor,
Oh.
Wilt Distill.
Yeah. That was unbelievable.
You
One
know.
of the greatest in history that people don't even know about him.
Yeah.
No.
Great athlete, too,
Yes.
for a 7-footer.
Hey, ask Kansas. They still 100 points against Kansas in one game. Them Jayhawks have never recovered.
No,
That's why they choke. Every time they get in the NCAA March Madness, when they get to be like in the top 8, they hold up Chamberlain's picture and then they lose.
oh, you're getting some history now from the Guns. No, it's some great stuff there. Amy brought up something that the Guns likes, and I like horses. Kentucky Derby is, she says it starts May 6th and it ends on May 6th.
Really?
Yeah, you know horse racing. I tried to teach you, but it didn't sink in.
I've been watching a lot of the stake races that,
Any good favorites?
well, let me say this. A lot of the stake races, the winners of those go into the Derby for those that don't know. The
Teach
Arkansas,
him, he doesn't know.
the Arkansas Derby, the Woodlawn, the Santa Anita Derby, the Florida Derby.
Famous national races.
There have been so many upsets in those derbies that I think that the Kentucky Derby is
wide
going to be a
open.
toss. I think it's going to be wide open. I think it's going to,
Wow.
because I've seen horses win that I'm still can't believe won in some of these
Well,
derbies.
I've owned race horses at the Meadows over the years, and I got Smoking Jim when we were doing shows there. He owned a fraction of a horse that he didn't have to pay for. He even made his first official bet, a $2 bet. He didn't even know how to do it, and a friend of mine, Terry, was the cashier. She went to Keystone Oaks, lived in Castle Shannon. She was friends with my ex-wife. She goes, here, I'll help him do the bet. And boy, it took 10 minutes to get him to bet $2. It was a great moment in Pittsburgh Sportsline history.
You know,
we like horses.
one final point. I've had numerous people ask me
Yeah,
who's going to win the Derby. You know what I mean?
I'm going to ask, who's going to win the
And let
Derby?
me say this. For those that don't know, the Kentucky Derby are 3-year-old horses.
They're baby horses.
I have a 3-year-old granddaughter. I don't know what she's going to do. How do you expect me to know what a 3-year-old horse is going to do? That's what makes it so crazy. Anything can happen.
Well, I'll just clarify a little. They have things called programs, and they tell the racing history of these horses. So when Guns tells you they're 3 years old, a lot of them start at 2 years old. So imagine your own child starting to race at 2 years old. Wow. Guns right, but they're horses. They're bred and trained to do these things. So they keep records of it, which then you can read it to learn, like Guns and I know, but it doesn't always work on what the stats are.
No, it does not, especially with 3-year-olds. They are just 3-year-old anything, you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, Paul Haley got a funny one. Did Smoking Jim own the back half of a horse? Asking for a friend. Whoa, Paul! I have to tell you, they sold like a 5% share of the horses. So I told Smoking Jim, since I owned race horses at one time in the '80s, half a dozen. I said he owns the nose because the nose hits the finish line first.
One of those races at Keeneland now,
Yeah.
Jose Ortiz from
Make it quick.
Gulfstream was
Yeah.
runner. 19-1 coming down the stretch. I had him.
That means on a $2 bet, you make $38 or close to $40. We're going to end the show on you can be a winner on the Kentucky
$1,000
Derby.
in that
Stay
race.
tuned for next week. Please stay
58,
Joey
60
strong.
cents.